Cryptocurrency market has been moving a little bit here and there. We watched assets popping and we literally watched assets like XVG bursting like a 5x over just few days, and that kind of build a lot of confidence in the market, and people are literally looking for all-time highs in a lot of different coins as soon as possible, especially in the altcoin side. However, I would say yes, the news, the narratives, everything which you watch in the market right now is great. But I completely agree with Credible here. I would say, the way he explains about Bitcoin going up, completely true. That's what I also think. But at the same time, when you watch the market shows you're not actually getting a lot of new volume. So if Bitcoin needs to go higher, where will that money come from? It should come from the altcoin market. That's maybe one of the reasons why we just got a bounce back in the Bitcoin dominance. Yes, that's a 4-hour chart, but I would say it's better to be prepared than being surprised by the market. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10 person of this world. While we look at a lot of these assets, we do see that on the short-term horizon, they are actually moving much higher, but you do have to keep in mind we have 20,000 assets at hand, and some of these are actually popping right now. We had our calls on some of these, especially this one, MDT. We had our calls for the breakout. It's moving higher. All things are happening. But that's a select few in the market. What's the concern here? Bitcoin is breaking through the weekly highs, which is super bullish for Bitcoin and the entire crypto market. But then assets like XRP is not actually showing you a big break. It's still in this range. If you actually drop in this trend line, we are still somewhere close to that. Now, being optimistic, we can say, okay, that was the level. We broke that one. That's cool. That's great. We do have a possibility of making a double bottom structure here, which is great. But this should not be missed. This is the market excluding Bitcoin and Ether. Yes, on the macro, at least a 3-day to a weekly chart, it's massively bullish. But my concern, however, is the short-term move. If this highlighted zone of resistance is not broken, maybe in a day or two, that can get really bad. Meaning, Bitcoin will drain this market and push this to the downside. If you actually look at the entire crypto market, you don't get that vibe here. The market is showing you that I'm going higher, Baba. I'm actually taking off. Great. But at the same time, this, which is just two assets out of that market cap, and this is what we are watching, which means a lot of these assets may actually shock us a little bit. Maybe a little bit of surprise moves. Now, when you actually go on a weekly, it does give you some more clarity. Why? Because the weekly shows you just one candle to the downside here now has taken around 4 weekly candles, and still we are not at the top. So even if we see some kind of movement here, we may still get resisted at this particular level. So the trend to the downside has not yet been corrected. So what we are watching in XRP, the double bottom pattern, if we get that same exactly in the market cap there, that's going to be really good. That's literally what we want to see in the total structure here. But at that time, the concern is true. Now, why would I highlight that point? Because, right now when the market is going up, to get more viewers, to be, that popular guy, it's better just to say we are popping, look for all-time highs. Yeah, we are going to the all-time highs, just with some level of patience for sure. But what we need to look for is assets which are showing you the structure, a double bottom pattern. And For XRP, it's not confirmed yet, but yeah, you do have a probability that we are going to go above 0.5 and break through that level and show you that there is a double bottom playing out that can come into the price action. However, right now, even when you actually go into the market, look at a lot of these assets, which are actually the top movers of the day, and then slowly move down, you're watching some of these are taking off to test the recent high. Now that's a 4-hour chart. Now we really would like to go on the shorter horizon and see where we are right now. And we are testing this level. So money is moving and some of these are moving with Bitcoin. So the correlation with Bitcoin becomes so important right now. And then the macro chart. When you're breaking through these moving averages, it kind of gives you some room. But you need to keep an eye on these resistance ranges. The previous support will turn as a resistance. So this is going to be really interesting because some of these assets are actually showing, okay, I'm wicking. There's a long way which I tried to go higher, but a lot of sellers came in and they're pushing the price to the downside. You can actually get that vibe on a 4-hour chart showing you a couple of long wicks, then a reversal candle, a hammer, now moving to the downside, which actually shows you a bad pattern, 3-candle reversal to the downside, which means we may come back down to retest this level and then bounce off. Now that's a bullish market, just a retest of the breakout. But on the short-term narrative, if you are jumping in, you may actually see the market running against you. You may literally observe that yes, there is a lot happening, especially with some of these meme coins showing like there is a bull flag in action. If we break to the upside, that's great. But if not, even the assets which actually moved up pretty much. Now we had the call on Celo, right? We actually broke higher, we went up. That was a great move. But if you actually look at it on the shorter horizon, what it is doing right now, yeah, we're getting an engulfing candle to the downside. We are trying to break the first level of the moving average, which actually shows something is weighing in. What is it? Those guys who are taking profits. 1, 2, those guys who are trying to short the market, believing that the market is going to go lower. So you do have two forces in action right now. But yes, for sure, on the daily narrative, you did break this previous range of support turn resistance. So for assets like these, the current drop would be a retest of that range, not the bottom here, not the trend line forming here. So that's what you should be eyeing when it actually come back down to retest that range and starts bouncing. Now you have a huge opportunity at your hand, because otherwise the market can actually surprise us in a way that the market still goes higher. You watch crypto market getting more attention because yeah, the news is like that. We literally see like the giant guys entering onto these assets and highlighting like, okay, we don't actually think Coinbase is any legal institution. Say that's what the legal expert John gives us here too. When they are working with them and highlighting the point clearly, saying like, okay, I don't think it's an illegal business. We are going to work with them. We don't care what the SEC says. And that's here. It tells you all you need to know about what's really going on. Meaning no one either care about SEC and the Gary guy, or they all know it's just a drama and things are going to change soon. So the price can be the insider trading, can be the market cycle movement, but look at the market psychology in Bitcoin at least. The way we are watching this is a level of psychology. Everyone macro is looking at this particular level, and if you see a break high up from this range, now you directly go to 35,000 first, then test around 37, 38. Next level is going to be like 40, 44. In between, the higher level of liquidations should come in some way close to this range. There's a lot of shorts, or at least those people who are thinking to short the market, preparing to short this, believing it's going to go back down to 10, 12,000. You still have those guys in the market giving you that narrative of $10,000, $12,000 Bitcoin. Why? Because they think 2024 and 2025 is going to be a bull market. Now imagine if this is breaking higher right now, you may actually see the all-time high this year in next 6 months. Say it's getting extended, meaning you go up, you again correct 30%, you go up, you correct 30%, literally like the previous cycle which we had until 2018. If that's the case, maybe up to half of next year, but not towards 2015. And if you actually wait for 2024 and 2025, what will happen is that you'll miss the first half of the run. Because by the time you wait for the confirmation, things are already taking off. And this is the short-term area where we should be focusing on. As soon as you get a breakout at this level, that's macro bullish. Right now, the only reason I'm being focused on the trades, being a little bit conservative, saying, okay, we may come back down and I'm going to load up at this support level or any rejection close to this particular level, because that support, if it bounces from that level, is going to be a massive opportunity. Now, yeah, when it breaks this particular level, I'm going to add on, because a break at that level at a time when the macro is shifting, the monthly chart is already showing you it had a long wick to the downside. So someone came in heavy, because the last one was an engulfing candle here, which pushed the price up, and the retest is happening right now where it's becoming bullish. So a bounce here should be really attractive and should go higher than what we have already seen this year. It is going to be really interesting. Just the short-term narrative is where we are concerned. Maybe next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, that's it. Afterwards, anyways, next month, we are going to actually see some bullish sentiment in the market. And in the meantime, when Bitcoin runs higher, for sure, you're going to see few select assets popping like this for sure, because entire segment is dropping and the money is moving into Bitcoin and a select few, which will pop. So if you are actually searching for those kind of moves in the market, I'm actually giving all this in the Patreon way. We're going through all this, where we actually went through all this one by one. And after that, we're still doing the market test. We're going through some of these trades and looking for what the market is actually doing. Especially when we had the breakout calls on a lot of these assets, we actually understood the fact that, okay, something is changing. Some of these assets are actually starting to move up. We had these calls and which was already up, and I was like, okay guys, take some profits, right? If it's levered, for sure skim your profits. That's how the market works. Now, if you actually go back in the market and look at these assets and their movements on the short term, you'll actually see, yeah, we got volatility coming in. We got that wick. So now, if you actually bought in here, which was the actual call of the breakout, now you had an advantage of the market. You knew where to buy, you knew where to sell. That's what's going on here. So the link of Patreon is given in the description below. So guys, if you received value, please do hit that like and subscribe button. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.